Hi, I'm Noel Bentley, and I'm the host of TEDxBearCreekPark. And I'm happy to have with me Sandy Gerber, and she's going to be one of the speakers at TEDxBearCreekPark 2021. She's a multiple award-winning communications and marketing strategist. She's authored 3 books, and she's started 3 successful companies. Welcome, Sandy. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me, Noel. I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying these interviews.
Great.
What I'd like to do is give you the opportunity to tell people a little bit more about yourself, what's happening with you and where you are in your life right now.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So I know I don't look it, but I've been in marketing and advertising and communications for over 25 years. You're supposed to look surprised, Noel. And it's my passion. I mean, I think I say to people, marketing's in my blood, right? And communications. Since I was a kid, I was the kid that other kids came to and said, what do I say to get my parents to say yes? Right? So I was always crafting messaging and looking at how we could put some wording together to help people do what we'd like them to do. So marketing and communication has been a passion of mine for years. In the last 10 years, after having some difficulty in my relationship, I started looking into communications even further, and just a passion project, really. I was very, very busy at work, but I had this passion to understand how can I communicate better in my relationships. And so this is what started this journey, which is bringing me to the TED stage.
Oh, yeah, it's been amazing to hear your story and what you've created. And for the people who are watching, what are they going to experience and hear in your talk? We don't want too many spoilers, obviously. We just want to know, you're going to kind of tell us what you're going to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled to share this message with the world. Today, with the pandemic and with the issues that we're having with 24/7 togetherness during this pandemic, relationships are struggling, and they need help right now to keep the romance in their relationships. So I'll be talking specifically about the secret to successful romance in their relationships. And without giving any secrets away, I'll be talking about that and really a way to start thinking in your relationship to help improve the romance in your relationship.
Right. Yeah, I remember hearing your audition. And I was like, oh, taking notes.
Well, it's been funny because, it's been surprising actually and delightful that the response for people who have heard the talk while I've been practicing, the response has been very, very positive. And that's because I think people can really relate to it. They can understand the messages that I'm saying in the talk, and they can use it right away. So it's been, I get emails from people saying, I'm still hearing your voice in my head after hearing you practice. So that's very encouraging.
Oh, fair enough. And it's, you do all of this work in marketing and communications, and you're writing and now you're doing a TED Talk. And a TED Talk is a lot of work that I don't think people realize the amount of effort that needs to go through. For you, what's the motivation? Why go through this entire process of creating and giving a TED Talk?
It's always been my passion to be able to share this message. So I discovered the secret about 10 years ago. And when I did, and I applied that to my own life, I ended up with a very successful long-term romantic relationship after failing in relationships before. So it just became my passion to share that with people. And so I started doing that just with my friends and my colleagues, and they started applying this information to their life. And I started seeing the effect. And I thought, you know what, I want to have a bigger impact. This is a passion project of mine. It's not what I do every day. It's just been a passion project for a decade of my life. So TED just seemed the logical step, take it to a stage where everybody across the world can benefit from this message.
Oh, fair enough. Well, very true. And if anyone's listening, from TED, just to be clear, whenever we say TED, we mean TEDx as well.
Yeah,
This is
sorry.
TEDx Bear Creek Park is an independently run TEDx event. And we put it on ourselves, even though we're in the backyard of Big TED. We've grown to one of the biggest TEDx's in Lower Mainland, quite frankly, and growing to the one in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the things that is surprising when you hear people like you speak about your journey, often the failures and challenges become front and center, and we don't think about that. And that surprises us when we hear your talk. And what about, I'm curious for you, when you're getting ready to deliver your talk, what's been surprising or different or, just a wonderful thing that you never expected to happen?
I just think I'm having so much fun with it. Well, there's two things. One, I'm really enjoying the process, because it's putting myself out there. I mean, you're really putting yourself out to the whole world to hear the message. And it's a tremendous amount of work to get there, right? So I've been working on this for a couple of years, really, like trying to refine my message to a bite-sized amount of information that people could actually find valuable in that short time that we have together. So that's the first piece, and it's a considerable amount of work. The second that's been so wonderful is the team of people at TEDx Bear Creek who are experts in having a world-class event and making sure that we have coaches and we have the organized people like yourselves, right, that are really helping to share these important ideas with the world. And so I just was so surprised by the professionalism, the care, the help, the coaching. Everybody's coming together to help us to be successful. And so when you have that type of recipe, everybody benefits. And the end result will just be, as you said, a world-class event.
Yeah. Well, and you'll be a TEDx speaker, and you'll be, immortalized with that. But a lot of people get or are motivated or start thinking about it when they see other TED Talks. So I'm wondering about you. Do you have a few favorites of your own?
Oh, yes. So I have a ritual every morning. I have my morning ritual where I meditate and I do some self-care practices. And then one of them is watch a TED Talk. So I have lots that I could refer, but the one that I always come back to is Derek Sivers. I can never say his name correctly, but Derek Sivers. It was from 2010. And it's a really good example of how you can have a small amount of time. In a small amount of time, you can have a concise message that delivers a big punch. And his is about how to start a movement. And it's done in a very creative way with a video behind him, with him narrating from the stage. And it's humorous and it's effective. So if people haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend seeing it. It's less than 3 minutes of your time. And I used it many, many times with clients to indicate the power of branding and messaging and movement. So yeah, I highly recommend that one.
Well, did you say 3 minutes?
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. It was just one of those little breaks, that they had the speakers come up. And so if you can get an idea as effective as his, which is, it's really the first follower of a leader, the first follower of a nut that turns that person into a leader. If you can get that message into 3 minutes in a creative format like he has, then you really succeeded.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. And we noticed that TED Talks themselves are starting to shorten from the original 18. And now it's, 15 or 12 or even less.
Mm-hmm.
Quite common now.
Yeah,
it's quite common.
We want to get the message quicker.
Well, it is. I mean, unless you need that amount of time. And I know as part of TEDxBearCreekPark, we've been a little pushy to our speakers in terms of time as well. And we feel that it's benefited them and hopefully our audience. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of our audience, we need to know who needs to hear your message, Sandy.
Well, I mentioned earlier, everybody's really a little bit stressed and tensions are heightened with this pandemic and relationships specifically because of close quarters. I would say anyone who is having difficulty in their relationship right now or needs to find a little bit more patience, a little bit more romance in their relationship, definitely watch the talk. It will help shift your thinking. I would definitely say anyone that's strained right now in these close quarters with their significant other.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, we do hear a lot about that. Now we're just wrapping up here, so I'd be remiss if I didn't allow a marketing guru, her 20 or 30 seconds to give her pitch. Why come see Sandy?
Why come see me? I'm passionate about my message, but really it's about you. It's about what you need. It's about the person that's going to be listening and watching on the other side of the camera. take some time for yourself and for your relationship, and come discover the secret to long-term successful romantic relationships.
Great. Thank you. Again, that's Sandy Gerber, and she's one of our TEDxBearCreekPark speakers. You'll be able to hear and watch her on Saturday, March 27th. We'll be broadcasting everyone's recorded TEDx talk. So thanks again for joining today, Sandy.
Thank you.